we live? Are we live? Hang on. Oh, wow. Right. We're good. We're live. Brilliant. Oh, Jesus. Wow, that was a race. That was a race and a half. Instant. I mean, F1's back, guys. F1 is absolutely back. I've got no words. I've got no words. My note page is like a mile long. I've just written down everything that happened in that race as much as I possibly could. Oh my word, that is bad. I'm so happy. Justin, yes. Oh right. Where do we start? Where do we start with this race? So obviously, congratulations to Valtteri Bottas, who did win the Grand Prix once again. I think that's his second time he's won here in this race. So brilliant for Valtteri Bottas. Won here in 2017. Now he's won here this weekend. So incredible. Charles Leclerc, from what was an absolutely disastrous weekend for Ferrari. Sebastian Vettel getting knocked out in Q2. The Ferraris were well off the pace. It was clear to see that they were going to be struggling, but they did solve their issues. Kind of solved it. The Ferrari looked better on those harder compounded tyres. Vettel had his issue. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But then, of course, Charles Leclerc drove beautifully once he switched on from the softs to the mediums, and then he just took off, and then he finished in P2. And possibly, the biggest smile on my face, because despite me wearing a Ferrari shirt, I am a huge McLaren fan. Lando Norris is on the podium. He's on the podium for the first time in his Formula One career. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, guys, I've literally just turned off the stream watching the race. It's I'm struggling to get my words out. It's that raw. But I think we should start at the very beginning of the Grand Prix, talking about what had happened and stuff. And of course, let me know your opinions about the Grand Prix. Formula One's back. Who is your driver of the day? Let us know your opinions. There's Josh Ravel in chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Great drive by Charles and Milkman. Great drive by quite a few people. Let's not forget. So I think when the five lights go on, it's a relief, an absolute relief that we are back in Formula One. It's just, oh yes, please. It was just beautiful to see. It was a brilliant scene. Everyone gets underway, more or less fine, and I was quite surprised. I'm thinking maybe one or two drivers will muck up at the start. So oh, actually, yes, chat is on. That's good. I'm pleased that's on. I've just seen the little thing there. That chat is on. It is on, isn't it? Oh, that's cool. Anyway, ignore me. So obviously everyone gets underway. Like I said, I'm very surprised by that. And then, nice little battle between Norris and the Mercedes, which not Mercedes, sorry, the Max Verstappen. He had a little battle with him. That was brilliant to see. Albon as well going to toe-to-toe with Lewis Hamilton. Were we going to get a repeat of Brazil? Not quite yet. So obviously those two come in a battle as well, and obviously just everyone just gets away not too bad. What else have I got down here as well? Because my note page is like that and that. There's a lot to get through. I'm not going to go through every single point because that'll just be weird. What else have I got? So obviously, Alexander Albon gets Lando Norris for P3 into the podium places, which was a good little tussle between the two. McLaren started off strong, didn't they? But then they kind of fell off the pace, and I think Norris got caught by Perez as well. And I'm positive that I was expecting more from the racing points, because they had a really good qualifying. The car looked really pacing point. There we go. There's a one. Ultimately, it came to nothing. So, apart from obviously a little incident, but I'll discuss that in a little bit. And as well as, I've got it down here, Mercedes engine smoking. That was a lot of things that we were seeing, especially with the racing points throughout the course of the weekend. What was that down to? I think, was it Brundle, I think, said it in practice, that it could have been too much oil in the engine or too much of something, and it kept smoking every so often. And then I seen it. I think it was on the Bottas's car, was a Hamilton's car. It was one of the Mercedes cars that I'd seen, and it was only the Mercedes powered cars that I'd seen it from. I'd seen it happen to. So what was going on there? I'm not too sure. Or might get sunlight maybe after this, or even I don't know at some point. Right, what else have we got? So yeah, Lewis Hamilton overtakes Alexander Albon at turn 4 on lap 9. That was a brilliant overtaking spot, wasn't it? Turn 4, downhill section in towards the gravel. A lot of action happened at that particular corner. Absolutely brilliant for that. So the first retirement was, of course, there. Max loses power on lap 11. Max approaching turn 1, the louder curve, and then the car just shuts off for some reason, and then pulls up, gets it going again. But you can see he's jerking it forward. He's doing something. I think the commentator said, or Brundle said, that he bump started, so he might have stalled it, or I'm not too sure what had happened. I don't think Red Bull have confirmed what has happened, so maybe they'll announce it afterwards. I might have missed it, but I can't remember hearing anything on commentary. And again on Twitter, I haven't heard anything yet. What else have we got? Oh, Daniel Ricciardo as well. DNF gearbox problem? A question mark? I put, was it the gearbox? Because it seemed like he was stuck in third gear when he was going through the S's of turns 7 and turns 8. So again, I was like, what's going on here? Turns out it was a cooling issue as well. So of course, Ricciardo on his last season for Renault, not getting off to a good start. And to be fair, I thought Renault were all right this weekend. I wasn't expecting much from them at all. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to be, back of the pack, but I thought Red Bull did all right. Renault did all right. So, and of course, Ocon making his second debut with Formula One in a way after having, 500 and something days, I think it was, between his last race in Abu Dhabi 2018 and, of course, this one today in 2020. And Stroll DNFs. Vettel overtakes Stroll on lap 18 for position 8. Then Stroll, I think the race point engineer, I don't know his name, I don't know who Stroll's engineer is, came over the radio and basically explained that there was a power unit problem, there was something wrong with the power unit, and then ultimately it forced him to retire, pulls it into the garage, and that was it for Lance Stroll. And Lance Stroll did impress me this weekend. He had some pace, the car did have pace, but when he came to the race, it just didn't do that well, did it? It didn't do that well. So I'm absolutely gutted on that one. And then K-Mag spins at turn 3, lap 26, clear braking failure. Safety car comes out on lap 26. That's only the first page, guys. It's only the first page. Oh, dearie me. What are you guys saying in chat? Best race of 2020 says Blue Flag Alpha. Absolutely. Oh, God. Yeah. It's the only race of 2020. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so slow today. Lucky Dillman says Charles's drive was fantastic. Absolutely right. Steiner would be upset. Yeah, I would do an impression, but Josh Ravel does a brilliant impression from that. Justin S says I didn't expect a speeding in the pit penalty for Checo. I thought it would have been an unsafe release or something. Yes, well, yeah, as well, because he got released unsafely, didn't he? Into the path of, was it Norris? Yeah, because Norris had a problem with his right rear, didn't he? So the safety car comes out, Mercedes double stack, like most people do, get the cars in, and that's when we've seen the incident between Sergio Perez and Lando Norris. Nothing was done about that, I don't think, anyway. I think it was all pretty bog standard. I'm just making sure the stream looks like it's doing okay. So I'm sorry if I'm just going back and forth and just making sure, because this is literally the first time I've streamed on YouTube, and I've done it from my PC, so because obviously the quality will be better and stuff, but this is good. Anyways, back onto the race. What else have we got? Everyone on hards on lap 28, so everybody puts on the hard tyres, apart from Sergio Perez. He goes on the medium set of tyres, going on a different strategy. And there we go here. Lap 30, safety car ends. Sebastian Vettel. What is going on with that man? Initially, I thought Sainz had closed the door and just nudged him. I was like, oh, okay, that maybe racing incident perhaps. But then when you see it, how Vettel was just, I think Who was he battling with? Was it Perez or was it? Oh, it would have been Perez. Yeah. So obviously, yeah, those two are battling. Vettel just dives from nowhere, locks up. He's spinning before he's even made the corner, and of course clips the side of Sainz. He gets away with murder. Not a good thing from from Sebastian Vettel. He drops down to the back of the field. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. Vettel doesn't seem to care anymore. He just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know. Honestly, yes. Obviously, when the race gets into a bit of a flow, Bottas, you can see, is a lot slower on the hardest set of tyres, and then that's that altercation between the two drivers about keeping off the curbs, or team orders trying to get into play and stuff like that. So Hamilton on his team radio to his team, and they're telling him, keep off the curbs, and he's like, oh, he's taking more curb than me. It's like, okay, fair enough. Right, what next? Yeah, Mercedes tell both drivers to stay off the curbs on lap 44. Then Grosjean retires, and so does George Russell. Grosjean goes deep into 4, goes onto the gravel, doesn't he? I don't know the issue on that one. Again, if you guys know, let me know in the comment section. I can't remember what was said, but I know it was I think it was a power unit problem for George Russell. That led to his retirement, or was it some sort of glitch, mechanical problem? I think it might have been for George Russell on lap 51. Again, Williams look good this weekend. They look really, really strong. Not strong, but they look obviously a lot better than what they did last season. So that was brilliant to see from those guys. And I was really rooting for George Russell. I'm pretty sure I wasn't the only one doing that, but yeah, it just didn't come to anything for the team. Okay, so then the safety car comes out again on lap 51. Norris and Leclerc pick to go on the medium set of tyres. Vettel comes in to go on softs, so does Albon. Sainz comes in as well on the next lap to go on the medium set of tyres. Safety car is only out for like 3 laps. He comes in. I say he, the safety car. Kimi Räikkönen's tyre just yeets. Off he goes. Just, I'm on an adventure. See you later. A lot of them memes were doing the rounds on F1 Twitter. If you'd seen them, and off he goes, and yeah. Obviously, it was no laughing matter, but luckily nobody was hurt. So yeah. He's out, and then immediately the safety car comes back out. Was that when Perez and Albon had that? I think when Albon went to overtake Perez, and then the safety car got deployed. And then he had to back off, but then that was that incident of, wait, did he get the move done? Because Perez, Albon, seeing the safety car light, stopped, and then Perez, kept going, and then he stopped. So what was going on there? So I think nothing came to that as well. I don't think so. So yeah, so the safety car ends on lap 60. And then we go on lap 61. This is the big incident, I would imagine. Probably the talking point of the race. Lap 61, Lewis and Alexander Albon make contact for a second time in effectively 3 races. They did it in Brazil. Albon, going for the overtake on Lewis. Clips him, could have gotten the podium. He didn't in Brazil. The same happened this weekend. Albon trying to go around the outside. Hamilton had the corner, but then Albon was still quite... He was there, and then he just tapped the side of him and ended up spinning into the gravel. Hamilton gave him the little, arm, hand, and off he drives. I've only seen it a handful of times, so I don't really know, because maybe Albon was being a bit too ambitious going around the outside, but then again, he's in that right to do so. He's still got that enough room to do that, and Hamilton, he's still turning into that corner, so he can't exactly lift. If he lifts and goes right, he's going to lose that position, no problem. So he's got to keep his foot in. So it's one of those. I don't know. I really don't know about that one. What are you guys saying? What are you guys saying about that incident? Who was at fault? Was it a racing incident? Was it Hamilton's fault, or was it Albon's fault? Hamilton doesn't leave the space. Blue flag Alpha says. Yeah, let me know what you guys think as well. Charlotte Taylor's in that Lando. I'm still crying. Oh, are you crying? Oh, that meme is going to get used a lot. Oh, I am so happy I am so happy for for Lando Norris. Sorry, Chicken Man says Hamilton is was at fault. Yep, let me know what you guys think about the incident. Right, then the drama starts. So Charles Leclerc overtakes Lando Norris at turns 4 and lap 64 around the outside. A beautiful move from the Monegasque driver. Charlotte is in a whole array of emotions. Lando doing well, Charles doing well as well. I know she likes Charles Leclerc as well. So Lewis Hamilton then gets a 5-second time penalty for that incident with Alexander Albon. Not long after that, Perez gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I don't know if that was... I think that could have been when he got released in front of Norris. I think that could have been then. I'm not too sure. I think that was the only time Perez was in the pits. I'm imagining so. Yeah, from Justin. Spinning in the pit lane, he gets a 5-second time penalty. And then Albon slow on lap 69 as well. Norris overtakes Perez on turn 3 on lap 69. That's when he goes a bit deep and kind of just gives him a little nudge. I don't think anything from that. I've only seen a little bit, but I can't imagine that being looked into. So Norris overtakes Perez and he said lap 3 again. On turn 3, lap 69. Daniel Kvyat as well. He has a banging retirement. Just driving down the start-finish straight, left rear, boom, explodes. Off he goes. What's that down to? Lateral load on the rear tyres. Did he pick up, what was it, worn or what? I think it could have been something to do with the curbs. I'm not too sure on that one, actually. We'll see more when we hear from the analysis and, other people as well on social media who do know what is going on. So Daniel Kvyat is out on lap 70. And at this moment in time, we're going, what on earth is going on here? Bottas we know is going to win. Where's Hamilton? Where's Charles? Where's Lando? What's going on? Who's going to finish where? So Lando gets the fastest lap of the race right at the last lap. Brilliant. He gets the extra point and he gets a podium position. Absolutely brilliant. And for that reason alone, he is my driver of the day. A lot of people on Twitter were saying Charles Leclerc as their driver of the day, and I would say yes as well. Probably I would say a bit close between him and Lando Norris, despite what was going on with that Ferrari car, because it was absolutely terrible. So let me get up the race classifications. Right, if I can find them. Oh my word, what a race! What an absolute banging race that was, guys. Right. A brilliant way to kick off the 2020 season. Blue Flag Alpha saying Perez. Swap Chili says Ferrari has no speed but looks reliable. The Ferrari car looked really bad on the softer tyres, but then when it went to the medium tyres, it looked like it increased its pace. So maybe for the second, what will be called the Styrian Grand Prix next week, maybe Ferrari will pull off what Max Verstappen attempted to do and Red Bull and go longer, and maybe, just maybe, they could get on the podium on pace alone. Now, there was a lot of retirements, and it looked like there was going to be a Red Bull Mercedes battle at the front with the Racing Points McLaren and maybe one Ferrari and Charles Leclerc going for the best of the rest, which would have been fifth. So, yeah, it could have been that, but it wasn't the case. Look at that. Lando Norris in P3. Beautiful. So, your classifications as of yet, because, there's still... Maybe there's some incidents that we don't know about just yet or whatever. So this could change, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway, so classifications for the 2020 Austrian Grand Prix are this. Valtteri Bottas wins, as we know. Charles Leclerc in P2. Lando Norris' first F1 podium in P3. Lewis Hamilton is relegated from P2 to P4 in 4th place. Carlos Sainz, the Chilean man, is in P5. Sergio Perez, a solid job in P6 on his... could have gotten the podium, but commiserations. Pierre Gasly P7, not that bad. In an AlphaTauri they're called now, not AlphaTauri. Sorry. Esteban Ocon on his F1 return with Renault is in P8. So not a bad job by him. Antonio Giovinazzi is in P9. He was P17, 16, 17 was he? Or was he? No, actually, was he P18? I think it was low down, wasn't he? Because it was, yeah, I think it was P18. Oh, aye. So he finished quite low down. So that was a decent drive from Giovinazzi. Sebastian Vettel, of course, in P10. Nicholas Latifi, so close from his first F1 point on his debut in Formula One with Williams, who couldn't get a point to save their life last season. But of course they did in Germany. Danny Kvyat in P12 and Alexander Albon in P13. They're classed as DNFs on here, but of course they were within, I think, like 2 or 3 laps of the race finishing, so they are classified as P12 and P13 respectively. Your retirements, there's a lot of them. Kimi Räikkönen, George Russell, Romain Grosjean, Kevin Magnussen, Lance Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo, and Max Verstappen. So that was your race classifications. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat as well. Insane race from Krill, absolutely. Really, Vettel as well. What place did Vettel bring? Yeah, Vettel was in P10. Nice race from Latifi, absolutely nice race from Latifi, says Nishi. Blue Flag Alpha, hope Pink Mercs fix their problem. Yes, because the car looked good in qualifying, but then when it came to the race, didn't really look that good, did it? So, but of course, Lance Stroll had his issue, so maybe they can't solve that problem between now and the next race at the same circuit in a week's time. Swab Chili says, why didn't Mercedes pit? Yes, on the was it the second safety car, wasn't it? When everyone dived in the pits, and I was saying to you guys before about a couple of cars going in the mediums, a couple of cars going on the softs. Mercedes stayed out, didn't they? And I'll admit, I was surprised. I thought maybe both of them, get them in double stack, get them out straight away on a softer set of tyres, because Albon behind them and Perez were on softer compounded tyres. But they got away with that. They would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for Albon and Lewis coming together as well. Are McLaren second in the constructors? I believe they will be alongside Mercedes, because I think it was only them and Mercedes that finished both cars in the points. Let me double check, because obviously they won't be publishing the standings just yet. So where am I going to? So obviously Ferrari did as well. Ferrari got both cars in the points. So I think it'll be Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari, maybe Racing Point. I think, maybe then it'll be Racing Point. That is my guess as the constructor standings moving into the next race. Actually, so McLaren second in constructors. Charles was impressive as hell. Charles, again, very close. Do I give it to him though? Because, oh man, absolutely no idea. There you go, Grill. There you go. Racing Point fourth, yeah. I think Racing Point as well. I think Racing Point will want to solve their issue, whatever that was. So I really don't know. Yeah, Valtteri. People are happy about Valtteri winning. Leclerc in a good show. Leclerc is good in a slow Ferrari. Absolutely, Charles Leclerc, of course, got the best out of that car, the best he possibly could. It's not where it's supposed to be. For me, that's not there on pure pace. That's just down to, of course, some drivers retiring. Safety cars, and of course a fresher set of tyres. The car did look better on them harder set of tyres. So like I said at the start, maybe Ferrari will go on a different way of strategy, and possibly don't be surprised to see them go on the medium set of tyres, the yellow wall tyres, in Q2 for the next race in qualifying. Oh dear. How scary was Kimi's incident? Charlotte, it was very, very scary as well. I mean, the safety car comes in, absolutely guns it, the Kimi Räikkönen, and his tyre comes off. It's dangerous in many aspects. That tyre could hit anybody. Luckily, there wasn't any fans there, so maybe it was that less risk. But still, that tyre could hit a car. It could have ricocheted into anywhere. It could have went absolutely anywhere. So luckily, it did go off the track, and I think Alfa Romeo will be getting a very hefty fine for the well, maybe I would say, yeah, a reprimand and a fine for me. Right, TFF Brav is saying Charles shouldn't be on the podium today. Checo or Albon should have been in his opinion. Absolutely, I think Checo and Albon did deserve to be on the podium. Definitely 110%. You know, the Racing Point looked very, very strong. It was in the podium positions in a number of occasions, but unlucky for both of them, they did run into incidents. Perez had that penalty, the 5-second time penalty, and then of course Alexander Albon running into making contact with Lewis Hamilton. Alex needs to learn how to wait and not try to force his way past a 6-time world champion. Yeah, I really want to have a look at that incident again and get some experts talking about it, because I'm not 100% sure, because I'm like, I can see one point of the argument and I can see the other point of the argument as well. So Albon should have stopped on track for a safety car. Yeah, that could have been. Yeah. Safety cat. Who loves type? We all love a bit of a typo, don't we, guys? Oh man, it always makes good. Oh wow, 45 viewers watching. Thank you so much as well. And if you are new to the stream, please subscribe as well. Please subscribe to the channel. Well, that'll be very, very nice for you guys to see. Got some really good content coming up. Heading into the next F1 weekend in a week's time. Very, very intriguing. Please see Canada will be in 2016 again. Hamilton versus Rosberg. Hamilton versus Valtteri Bottas. If Bottas can keep up this momentum and keep up this pace, I can't see why not. Someone's just subscribed. That Valor Gaming has just subscribed. Thank you so much as well. I might change that graphic. Because I've literally just quickly done everything here. So where's your friend? So yeah, obviously Lyle is normally my co-host on the F1 debate show. When it comes to reviews, it'll be one of us each doing these. So he'll be doing it maybe next week, but he is working at the moment. So actually Lyle has missed the race because it's his first day back at work today. So what a day to have it. He's missed a cracking race. He really, really has. It could be him doing it next week, or it could be me. Either one of us, it could be doing it. There's Philpot in chat. There's not much room for error. There wasn't much room for error, but of course there was between the two drivers. But yeah, no, as I was saying before, you know, Valtteri Bottas, if he can keep up this pace, then why not? Why can't he challenge Lewis Hamilton? I think he can, and I think he's got the ability to do it. He's got the quality to do it, and especially he's got the car to do it. Obviously Hamilton will want to come fighting back in the next race. Maybe they would have you know, being at the track again, it's a better indication as to who's going to be where coming into the next, who's going to be where in terms of qualifying, in terms of the race. But loads of things happening, you know, constantly happening all the time. So maybe you know, tyres could blow out as well. We've got another subscriber as well. Was that I've seen you. Manicue Hamilton, thank you so much for the subscribe as well. Like I said, if you're new around here, please drop a sub on the channel as well. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers. Absolutely love it. So yeah, I think, you know, what we on 28 minutes. Probably end it here. I don't want to be rambling on too long here. Message hell for a review from Daniel Philpott. I know what he's saying. Subscribe to Formula GT. No, don't subscribe to Formula GT. Oh, Philpott, man. Thoughts on Vettel versus Sainz? Is that the was that the incident where Vettel went into the side of Carlos Sainz? I know that they did actually have some good on-track battles as well, which that was good to see, because, you know, Vettel leaving Ferrari, Sainz joining Ferrari, but still though, they don't want to be, you know, too friendly with each other. But in terms of the Vettel incident, yeah, it was the incident. Yeah, like I said, at first I thought it was Sainz and maybe just didn't see Vettel coming in. You know, Sainz was having a battle with, was it the Racing Point of Perez? I think it might have been. Vettel just came diving in, and I thought, Sainz just come across, didn't see him, and he's hit him. It's just like incident. But then when I seen the onboard, Vettel, I don't know what he's doing. There's two cars battling, and Vettel just dives from nowhere. He knows that door's closing, so he's probably going into his head that, I'm going to make a dive for it, and then he's went, I can't, and then then he's doomed from then on in. He's just trying to avoid. He's trying to avoid going into the side of Sainz, so he's just literally just forcing the car to stop. That move was way too late. Yeah, I mean, I don't get why Vettel even did that. With a driver of his caliber and his experience, I don't know why he was even thinking of doing that. But is it down to desperation? It's just down to, I just want to get this car to the finish. I want to get the points, prove everyone wrong. I really don't know. That was a harsh 5-second penalty for Hamilton. Do you think Lewis deserved the penalty? Like I said, I've only seen the incident once, and I just think, because Albon makes the move, doesn't he? He's down the outside. He's going around the outside, so Lewis has got every right to that, because he's on the track, he's making the move, and there's been overtakes there before, and then Lewis, he's there. I don't know if does Lewis like move into him, or does Albon move into him? I don't know. Because Lewis was ahead into the zone, and when they were turning, but then Albon got the edge, and he was like within 3/4 of a car's length, and then hits him and goes into the gravel trap. Maybe it was more Lewis the more I think about it, but like I said, I really want to have a look at the incident again and see what was going on, really, essentially. Yeah, it should have been 10% penalty. Even Albon was in front before the contact. Yeah, I think this is going to be rumbling on for a good number of weeks. Well, I say weeks, just for this week only, and then until the next race comes around at the same track. Actually, so I'll end this review here, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this brand new review. Instead of us uploading, panicking, getting the video up there straight away, we'll sit down, talk to you guys live, giving our instant reaction to the Grand Prix. It's went very well. Absolutely loved it. Thank you to everyone who's viewed in. 51 viewers on our very first live stream on YouTube. That's pretty impressive. I really like a proper one, a proper professional one. Really like that. So thank you so much for watching as well. Like I said, if you're new around here, then please subscribe as well. Drop a sub, drop a like on the stream. It does help out a lot with the channel. And yeah, I just think what an absolutely brilliant race to come back to. Absolutely loved every second of it. Should we do it again in a week's time at the same track? Go on then, why not? We've got a long, big week of more F1 content coming your way. We'll be releasing a schedule of what's going down on Twitter at F1_DS16. If you haven't followed us on Twitter, please go over and do so. And then you can see what videos we've got coming out next week, and then of course the week after, and then so forth for as long we do the schedule things. So, anyways, guys, watch what you're doing. Hope you did enjoy the race. And actually, as well, before I go, I will be publishing the prediction table maybe tonight. I think I'll be sitting down doing it. I've got a video to edit after this, so once that's done, I'll jump on, edit, do the scores for the prediction league, post it, and then I'll be posting another one, submit your prediction posts later on during the week. So Valtteri Bottas is your race winner for the first race of the season. Charles Leclerc is in P2, and Lando Norris is in P3. Brilliant Grand Prix. What a way to start off the season. Let's do it again in a week's time at the same track, but it's called the Steering Grand Prix. Until next time, guys, watch what you're doing, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.